living in the information age with all of the answers. What would your response be on the following? Why is there more matter than antimatter? What is consciousness? Why do living things age? What will the total impact of climate change be on world agriculture? It may be a while before we've cracked those conundrums, but what if we could solve some even more immediate problems, such as achieving food and water security in Africa, making renewable energy affordable for the people of the continent, and eliminating poverty-related diseases? The Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences at the University of Pretoria strives to answer as yet unanswered questions, meet grand challenges, and achieve sustainable development goals. Research focuses on 4 major fields, covering physical and environmental sciences, biosciences, big data, and agricultural sciences. As a student, you will be mentored by expert scientists while developing your knowledge and skills in state-of-the-art research facilities, and you can access the support you need to excel in a challenging academic environment. 13 departments make up the faculty, ranging from actuarial science to zoology, literally from A to Z, preparing you for a career and the future. An internationally recognized qualification will unlock opportunities across the globe and enable you to tackle the questions, problems, and mysteries of tomorrow. The Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences at UP, maximizing your potential for future impact.
Realidumedisha Kasipedi, Momodi Studiong za University of Pretoria. We say to you all, welcome. Welcome to the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences. I am Dr. Siti Makai, a lecturer at the Department of Statistics, and I will be your host for this session. The Natural and Agricultural Sciences faculty is one of the largest and the most diverse faculty here at the University of Pretoria. This faculty is led by 2 prestigious alumni who currently serve as the Dean and the Deputy Dean of Research of the NAS faculty. Joining me in studio today, we have Prof Erasmus, the Dean of the NAS faculty, Prof Maharaj, our Deputy Dean of Research and Postgraduate Studies, and Ms. Danae Visser, the Chairperson of the Postgraduate Student Association of the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences, SANA. Let me first introduce you to the Dean of the NAS faculty, Prof Erasmus, who is an expert in climate change adaptation and the association's sustainability transformations. He was previously appointed as the Director of the Global Change Institute at the University of the Witwatersrand, where he also held an industry-sponsored research chair in global change and sustainability. Under his leadership, the Global Change Institute at WITS grew in impact, stature, and funding, and its members remain involved in key decision support structures in local, provincial, and national government. He contributed to several strategic documents on climate change, space science, and global change for the National Department of Science and Innovation and Department of Environment, Forestry, and Fisheries. He supports decision-making in civil society by serving on advisory bodies for the Endangered Wildlife Trust, the National Business Initiative, NBI, and the African Climate Leadership Program. As one of the only higher education members of the NBI, he gains unique insights into effective higher education industry partnerships. Together with a consortium of international authors, he recently co-authored an international report that was commissioned by the United Nations on the state of global land degradation and restoration. Prof Erasmus has always had an interest in interdisciplinary work. His doctoral degree at the University of Pretoria was the first assessment of climate change impacts on biodiversity in South Africa. The core paper from that study continues to be relevant in international literature, and over time, his research interest expanded from biodiversity and climate change impacts to a systematic approach to sustainability in rural landscapes. He is passionate about postgraduate training as well as the students that are deeply embedded in collaborative and interdisciplinary research programs. Prof Erasmus.
Thank you, Siti, for that introduction. Before I start, I thought it would be useful to give you an overview of where this faculty fits into the overall structure of the university. The university is led by the interim Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Themba Musia. He is supported by 3 Vice Principals and a few Executive Directors, and one layer below there are the Deans and the faculties. Each Dean leads a faculty, and there are 10 of these different faculties. The Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences is the one that I lead. Within this faculty, there are 13 different departments, and I can confidently say we're one of the most diverse faculties on the continent. It's a combination of natural and agricultural sciences, so not only do you get the opportunity to understand production, food systems, and sustainability, but also an in-depth disciplinary understanding of the supporting basic sciences of physics, chemistry, statistics, and mathematics. When we think about the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences, research is at the absolute core of what we do. We are one of the most research-intensive faculties within the University of Pretoria, and roughly about a quarter of all the doctoral degrees that are conferred every year comes from this faculty. We're not the largest faculty, but in terms of research output, we make the largest contribution. We don't do this level of research by ourselves. About 2/3 of all the research that we publish are done with international collaborators, and the faculty maintains collaborations with about 350 different international research institutes and universities in other countries. This helps us to remain at the absolute cutting edge in many different fields. So if you study your postgraduate degree here in NAS, you get exposure to all this expertise that we draw from across the world to solve the most pressing problems of the globe and the African continent. When I talk about the quality of our degrees, it is not just my opinion. As part of good governance, we have our degree programs and our curricula reviewed on a regular basis. Recently, we had a review which we called our quinquennial quality review. In short, we had an external panel with international researchers of repute look at how the faculty has performed over 5 years. The outcome was unanimous. We're doing exceptionally well. There's some opportunities to improve and even lift our standards higher. But what I'd like to share with you today is they made a specific comment about the effectiveness and the complexity and the completeness of the support systems available to students and staff within the faculty. For postgraduate students, that support system translates into bursary support. It translates into support for the soft skills, writing skills, how to network, what to do at a conference. And then, of course, also the harder skills, which has to do with your actual discipline and doing the research that your research supervisor is leading you in. Part of these hard skills rely on extensive facilities, and we've got some high-end research equipment, some of it quite expensive, that supports this cutting-edge research of global recognition. Recently, the World Economic Forum released what is called the Future of Jobs report. And this is a consensus of a number of large international companies where they basically get together and say, what do we think is the future of work? They identify then those jobs that would be the most relevant and the most sought after in future. The first on that list is jobs in the general technology, artificial intelligence, and data science domain. And the second most important one, job which they think will be most important in the future, are jobs in the sustainability science domain. So how does humanity continue to have active civilization, continue to thrive, but without harming the environment in the way that we've done in the past? The research that we do is not done in isolation. When you come to the University of Pretoria, it is a very, very strong push to have research with impact, research with relevance. And to help us achieve that, we've got several industry partners from a variety of industry with whom we work. We work with them either through bursaries, through internships, through secondment from their staff to the faculty, or through joint research projects. And this ensures that not only will your degree and the research that you do as part of your postgrad studies be relevant, it also prepares you for the future of work and makes you, as a UP alumni, much more sought after as a potential employee. In the other presentations that you'll see, there will be lots more detail about the variety of programs and topics that you can follow within this faculty. Please keep an eye out. It's quite diverse. The one thing that I'd like to draw your attention to is the ability of this faculty particularly to look for those projects and those types of projects that are in between the traditional disciplines. So we're not just looking at big data or genomics research. We can look at bioinformatics, where we bring those two things together. Not only do we bring green chemistry and renewable energy together, we've got a focus area around green chemistry. Not only can we bring chemistry and drug discovery together in biodiscovery, we do so looking for new ways of solving existing diseases using indigenous plants as a source of potential remedies. So these are just a few examples. Please keep an eye out. We know about interdisciplinary work, we understand it well, we are keen to work across disciplines with other faculties. So if you see a particular field or a topic of interest that is not in this faculty by itself, but part of it in a different faculty, come and talk to us. I'm quite sure there's a way in which we can craft the sort of postgraduate degree that will not only pique your interest, but give you that competitive UP NAS advantage in your future career. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof Erasmus. And now to our Deputy Dean of Research and Postgraduate Studies, Prof Maharaj. Prof Maharaj is a natural product chemist, trained in the discovery of new drugs or pharmaceuticals based on biodiversity samples such as plants. He is one of the leaders in bioprospecting in South Africa as well as internationally, focusing on biodiversity and traditional knowledge being a source of new pharmaceuticals. He is currently the director of the Biodiscovery Center in the Chemistry Department, which is known to have world-class infrastructure for drug discovery purposes. One of the high-impact projects that he is currently leading is the systematic investigation of South African indigenous plants aimed at discovering new pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, and cosmeceuticals. Prof Maharaj is also extensively involved in collaborative programs with stakeholders of indigenous knowledge, such as traditional health practitioners. Prof, welcome.
Good morning. It is a privilege to talk about the capacity in our faculty. We contribute substantially to the building of research and teaching capacity in South Africa by producing highly skilled graduates, as well as generating new scientific knowledge through our research publications. A significant number of our scientists are evaluated internationally and are acknowledged by the National Research Foundation as researchers of high international standing, and in some cases as world leaders in their fields. The faculty is proud to host 50% of A-rated researchers and 40% of the NRF-rated researchers at the University of Pretoria. In the faculty, we constantly push the frontiers of knowledge and develop new technologies that will help the faculty to stay aligned with the challenges of a continuously changing world. We furthermore endeavor to enhance the postgraduate student experience and the research outputs of the faculty and support the careers, particularly those of the young academics in science. We also wish to invite graduate students to become part of the exciting world of research by enrolling for postgraduate studies in the faculty. Wonderful opportunities exist in world-class, internationally acclaimed institutes and centers, such as the Mammal Research Institute, Genomics Research Institute, the Center for Environmental Studies, and Center for Bioinformatics and Computational Biology. The faculty also has several South African research chairs funded by the NRF, such as a chair in mathematics, modeling, and methods in bioengineering and biosciences, sustainable malaria control, fungal genomics, plant health products from indigenous knowledge systems, carbon technology and materials, conservation physiology, clean and green energy, and nutrition and food security. Information on the faculty, research and areas and supervisors can be found on the faculty website at www.up.ac/NAS.
My name is Pesi Hlegnene and I'm a meteorologist from Africa Weather. The one thing I got from my studies and I took into the workplace was the close relationships that we developed while studying. Taking that into the workplace, you realize that I can be strong in one thing, the other person can be strong in something else, and together as a team, everyone does what they are best at, and collaborating, communicating, making sure that we have one common goal. The one thing that you can do for yourself is to find something that you're really passionate about. It'll make all the other things much more easier. You go the extra mile if you're really into what you're studying. If you're passionate about it, go for it. That's the one thing.
We shall now have a Q&A session on one of the most frequently asked questions from our prospective international students. So, Prof Maharaj, can an international student apply without a SAQA or South African Qualifications Authority certificate?
Thank you, Sidi, for the question. Yes, a student can apply for registration and admission without having the SAQA certificate. This SAQA process is a very lengthy process and very costly. So the application needs to be sent to the respective departments for consideration and can be conditionally admitted. However, final admission for the student is only awarded once a SAQA certificate is obtained.
All right, and we have another SAQA question which says, what happens when I've been admitted to the University of Pretoria and applied for the SAQA certificate but have not yet received my SAQA certificate by the time of registration?
So the student needs to provide the following information to the relevant departments and the faculty administration officers. They need to provide the reference number of the SAQA application, and they must make sure that the full academic records, degree certificates must also be submitted. The application will then be submitted to the Foreign Qualifications Review Committee at the university, and they will then consider temporary lifting of the SAQA hold, and registration can then continue conditionally. The registration for the following academic year will then be dependent on the receipt of the final SAQA certificate.
All right, so now for the third and last question. What happens when a SAQA certificate does not meet the required level for an applied program?
So in that case, a comprehensive motivation from the head of department and supervisor with the supporting documentation can be submitted to the faculty board for consideration. And in this case, they look for the waiving of the SAQA certificate required for a particular level in order to keep the re-registration alive. If this is not approved by the faculty board, the application can be escalated to the Senate Committee on Admission Status, SCAS, for special admission.
All right, you've heard it, audience. Thank you for the valuable information, Prof Maharaj. And for more information, if you still need more information, that is, you are more than welcome to send in your questions or to contact the faculty administrators. Now, let us hear from our alumni who are currently in the industry.
I'm Dr. Kashni Naidu. I work for a company called Thermo Fisher Scientific. I am currently what you would call a hybrid. So if anybody watched Sweet Tooth, they know exactly what that is. I'm what we would call in our field a field application scientist as well as a field service engineer. The University of Pretoria absolutely contributed to the success that I have and that I'm still achieving each and every day. And why I say that is, it is a world-class facility. From the institutions, from the research capacity, from the potential of networking with all the different academic lecturers. I was an academic lecturer myself for many, many years whilst I even studied. So I know that our core infrastructure is really ahead of many of the different institutes that I have visited and have been at. It's also been a really resounding fact that when we think about a world-class institution, that you have that growth potential to actually network and leverage those networks. That's the reason why I was able to successfully get into the industrial industry and become the person that I am right now, which is a hybrid engineer. If it comes to regarding advice I would give potential candidates for the University of Pretoria, it's quite simple. If you want a place that invests in your career development and invests in your true growth potential, this is the place to do it.
I'm Tanith Quate and I'm from the Tasha's group. When studying at UP, I absolutely loved every minute that I spent at the hospitality building. Lots of hours were spent here, but lots of fun as well. I think the most amazing part about the hospitality degree at UP is the practical hours that you get to do. It prepares you a lot for the workplace because you spend a lot of hours doing a lot of what you learn in the classrooms. So I think the theory and the practical side are completely well balanced. Just some advice in terms of studying the degree at UP, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the kitchen and on your feet. I think people are unaware of how difficult the hospitality sector is. It's a lot of hours, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of experience before you start seeing anything happening in the workplace. So I think some advice would be just prepare yourself for a lot of time and a lot of work, and it'll pay off in the end.
Last but not least, let us hear from our current postgraduate students. Firstly, a word from the chairperson of our Postgraduate Association, SANA, Dene Visser, who is currently pursuing a master's degree in zoology. Dene?
Thank you, Dr. Siti, for the introduction. I have always loved animals and enrolled for my BSc in zoology at the University of Pretoria in 2019. I started my MSc in zoology this year. My project focuses on investigating trade for whichever purposes, such as pet trade, food trade, science, as a potential threat to South Africa's indigenous amphibians. During my undergraduate years, I enjoyed taking various student leadership positions, including having been a class representative for several modules and joining the NAT House Executive Committee as the secretary for the 2020-2021 term. I was elected as the chairperson of PSANA this year. The PSANA committee consists of representing postgraduates from all departments in NAS. We aim to do as much as we can to aid our fellow postgraduates in their journey to completing their research and obtaining their degrees. As the chairperson of PSANA, I hope to have a successful term of addressing any issues that may arise for our postgraduates in our faculty, to host successful events with high attendance, and to have a good campus and social media presence. All of which aims to create better awareness of the research our postgraduates are doing and cultivating potential collaborations among different fields of study.
Thank you, Dene. I would also like to thank you, our audience, for joining us today in South Africa and abroad. We look forward to having you enroll at our faculty for your postgraduate studies. Remember, hore ukhethe UP. Choose UP.